And welcome back to the Brain Soul Success Show. I'm super excited to be with Carmen Croonquist today. This is a very special episode. So Carmen is one of my mastermind clients, and she's here with me today, and we feel like we're sisters. And so I just am excited to dive in and talk with you today. So this is called Quantum Shifts. It's client journeys with brain soul success. And Carmen, my gosh, Carmen, like we were just going over this before we jumped on, she has such an amazing background. So she is the master money mindset business mentor. She's a transformational healer. She's an international keynote speaker. She's been working with coaches and thought leaders and healers, cracking their money code, really unlocking that full financial potential without the burnout or the overwhelm. She really has 30 years of experience in this whole area. She's also been a teacher. She's globally recognized thought leader in business and personal transformation. She was featured in that landmark book. That was one of my very first books, Carmen, that I liked, that I was thinking, when I was doing values work, what color is your parachute? So she's featured in that book. She's designed and led master's level coaching programs at graduate schools. Just a host of wealth of knowledge here. She holds a master's degree in counseling psychology, multiple certifications in business and executive leadership. Oh my goodness. I'm just excited to be with you today. So thank you so much for jumping on with us today. And I think I've known you for what, 4 or 5 months?
Yes.
About 4 or 5 months. And in 4 or 5 months, there's been some amazing things that have happened for you. So what was life like before you started doing the brain soul success work?
Um, well, I was not coming from a place of lack. Um, but before the brain soul success, really living a great life with my husband, having a sunbird lifestyle where I get to live in Florida part of the year and
Mhm.
Hudson, Wisconsin, outside of the Twin Cities part of the year, and incredibly blessed to live with my divine life partner, who I had to wait till I was age 51 to meet, by the way, but I appreciate every day I have with this wonderful, wonderful man. But one thing that was kind of stuck in our life is that um, we had a business where it was becoming a bit of a burden. We
Mhm.
have owned for the last 7 years a live music venue in Hudson, Wisconsin called Ziggy's. And it's a restaurant and bar, but we really were inspired to create live music because we love live music. And a place closed in our town, and we were finding that we were driving everywhere else to go hear live music, but also the building was just gorgeous. It's one of these buildings from the 1860s that looks like something out of New Orleans with 4 patios. Um, but we were finding in the last year that it just became a big burden on our bandwidth,
Mhm.
where things have changed in the industry since COVID. But also, we do other things. My husband owns an engineering company. He's the CFO for his company, and he's still very hands-on as an engineer.
Mhm.
And, I'm a money mindset business success coach and speaker and healer. So I'm doing other things. So in the last year, this business had just become difficult to manage from afar. So that was kind of weighting me down, as well as just some ancestral stuff that I wasn't aware of that were still impacting my ability to get clients and really sell my programs.
Mhm.
And so working with Dr. Louise really introduced me to some new ways of clearing out ancestral patterns. I really loved learning the mind gems and the positive points in clearing because I'm already very experienced and gifted as a
Yes,
healer.
you
I've
have your
been
own
doing
set of
this stuff,
tools and they're pretty amazing.
right?
Yes.
But talk about taking it to a new level
Mhm.
of awareness in learning to do the soul tie box and having it done on me. So what's changed? We were able to sell our business and find a buyer, and we close on August 5th. And so that was one of the first goals I had when I worked with Dr. Louise. And, and it came to fruition really quickly. And so we cleared out some things that were getting in the way of us being able to easily sell that business and find a right fit buyer.
Mhm.
And other things that have changed for me are just really feeling even in more alignment with the work that I'm doing, learning more tools, um, helping a friend who's going
Mhm.
through a difficult health challenge right now. Using these tools has been able to help me help her on a deeper level.
Mhm.
And not only that, but I love the group, the synergy of the mastermind, all the things that I'm learning. I'm just excited and really grateful. I'm somebody that no matter what, I don't feel like I've completely arrived because I'm always learning and expanding and growing. And
Uh-huh.
the things that you've added to my life, in addition to your just dear, incredibly sincere, compassionate, and loving presence, has been an incredible blessing. So I just want to thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. I love, love, love working with you and watching your transformation. And also what happened with Ziggy's and how quickly we sold that. We didn't know that was going to happen. We wanted it, right? But we just cleared the energy. We did a soul tie box. I did some neurobiofeedback on it. And here we are. You close in just a few days. So congratulations on
Thank
that, Carmen, and how far you've come too, and how you've embraced these tools. So Carmen's done a really good job with all of the brain system tools and has, used them in her own life and in her business and has some pretty miraculous things happen with that good friend.
you. Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
I
And
have.
I'm really, really grateful for that. Yeah,
Me
really
too.
grateful for that. What would you say to somebody who's really like on the fence about investing in themselves and learning this?
Um, I think the biggest thing you can do is invest in yourself because it pays dividends,
Mhm.
both personally and professionally. Both if you intend to use this for your business, like I am, this
Mhm.
is all adding to the work that I do, but also for your own personal transformation, just clearing out patterns, peeling off layers of
Mhm.
things that get in the way of what you want. Um, I just say that, you know, the more that you invest in yourself, the more that you become appealing to your right fit clients and the goals that you have for yourself.
Absolutely.
This really dials you in and aligns you
Mhm.
so much more closely with where you want to be, what you want to do, have, and be in your life.
Yes, absolutely. And I know, like I said, you have a big tool bag, and yet you said yes to yourself because you saw the possibilities of what could happen. And here we are. It's only been 3 or 4 months. We already sold the business. You're, getting more clients, more aligned. I call it getting back to 100% our soul's truth.
Exactly.
Getting
And,
back,
and,
yeah.
and that's where you and I are so aligned because my whole thing is about being authentic and living aligned with your divine purpose. And
Mhm.
so I would just say to anybody who's on the fence, if you're looking for a program that helps you really be in touch with your divine purpose
Mhm.
and get in touch with your soul's truth, what you offer is truly that. And you are so generous with your time. In addition to the mastermind, you spend time with us individually to help us with our goals, whether it's something physical, whether it's something related to business, health, whatever that might be, or reverse aging. Like, the part about biofeedback, I've had a little bit of that experience in the past, but that's been a wonderful experience to, have that energy amped up even more because to me that's just an added incredible bonus on the back. But
Yes.
you've also given me tips on my business that have been helpful. Um,
Mhm.
Here I'm a business success coach, but I'm always learning from the masters. And
Mhm.
my goodness, you've been incredibly supportive and generous, and um, I so appreciate you.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you. I mean, I always think of co-creation,
It is.
just like you, Carmen, I learn from everyone. I just get so excited. I learn something every time I get on this podcast from someone or anytime I have an interaction with people. And that's what makes the world go around is that richness. It's that connection,
Well,
right?
we're all just here, as we're living our soul's truth. We
Mhm.
came here to be teachers and students of every person that we meet, and sometimes
Mhm.
both. And that's the way I look at it. In the end, we're all just walking each other home, right? And
Yes.
so we're always learning and growing and expanding because that's what we're here to do.
That's what we're here to do, absolutely. We're very aligned in our mission and in our goals for sure, for sure. Well, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on now. So in your world and your business, thanks for sharing about all those things that have happened for you since you said yes to yourself with Brain Soul Success in such a short time and encouraging people to join us. So we'll share more of how you can join us in our year-long program, really learning the brain system just like Carmen is here. But I want to hear about like what's going on for you right now in your business. What do you have coming up? I know you've got speaking things coming up, and yeah, share with us about that, Carmen.
Well, exciting things. I'm somebody who's been very good at manifesting. My
Hmm.
very first coaching certification was as a law of attraction coach. Although I've spent a lot of my career helping people figure out their career life purpose, their divine purpose, and also now it's helping people scale their businesses so that they can really get over the money blocks and head trash that gets in their way. But I'm excited that I'm speaking in Portugal in September. And so I'm
Yay!
going to be in Porto speaking at the conference, and next year I'm going to be in Venice in early June. I'm speaking in Chicago in December. So I have some fun things lined up that relate to travel because I grew up on a farm, and until I was, I don't know, in my 30s, I didn't really get to travel much outside of the Midwest where I grew up. But next week, since you asked, I have a
Uh-huh.
two-day event, and it's called um, Embody Your Worth. And it's a wealth
Nice.
activation event
Nice.
because I believe in so many cases people have a block in relationship to wealth where they just don't feel like they're worthy of it, that they
Mhm.
don't that they have to struggle or work really hard to deserve to be abundant in their lives.
Mhm.
And so this 2-day event, it's $27. I'm looking for joint venture partners, so I pay a 50% commission. And if you register, you can bring a friend for free. And it's next Tuesday and Wednesday, so July 29th and 30th. And it's from 6 to 8 p.m. on Central Standard Time. And I invite you to come to that event because for once, usually I'm doing like an hour and a half master class that I do once a month, but I'm
Mhm.
only able to get in so deep in that master class. So in this one, I'm able to get a little deeper. I have a few guests that are going to pop in with some bonuses and things to just kind of sweeten all that we're doing. And then I'm offering a 6-week program in August and September. It starts August 12th and goes through September 16th. And it's called Worthy, Wealthy, Wildly on Purpose.
Ah,
It's
I
all
like that
about
title.
getting people in touch with their innate worth
Uh-huh.
and getting rid of all the layers that prevent the feeling of being worthy of receiving the abundance that they desire. And
Nice.
just helping people really get clear on what they want, because that sometimes is the biggest challenge. You're asking the universe for something vague and not being specific enough, by not knowing. And so
Mhm.
that's where we'll be able to get into some deeper work to help people achieve their goals.
Oh, I love that. Again, we're so aligned because we do similar things, and yet from a different angle, from a different way, right?
Right.
And let me ask you this. What have you found, has blocked people from their worth, from really creating or manifesting that, if they have their money blocks, what are some of the money blocks you see?
um, I would say a number of things. People are stuck in old money stories
Okay.
they received because, from birth to about age 7, we're in a theta state. So we're essentially programmed on the subconscious level by all the adults in our life, all the authority figures around us before we have discernment. So some of us take on money stories about money only coming to us through hardship, or that we have to work really hard to deserve it, or suffer
Yes.
long enough to deserve it. But there are
Mm-hmm.
also fears about success, or fears about failure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I didn't grow up knowing how to manage money. So what's going to happen if I have a bunch of money? And I might
True.
lose it because I don't know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a new client who I met with on Tuesday, and his fear was, I'm afraid I'm going to turn into an awful person, because he had a program from his dad who just said rich people are evil, and they're often portrayed that
Oh.
way in the media and
Mm-hmm.
in movies. So people are afraid that I might somehow turn into somebody who's unethical or greedy or
Mm-hmm.
out of integrity. If I become wealthy, or I'll become really selfish. Sometimes people are afraid that, hey, if I become wealthy, everybody's going to come looking for that handout and expect me to fund all their pet projects. And I always say, it's just like having boundaries. No is a full stop sentence.
Right.
You get to
Right.
decide who you want to help and how you want to use your money. Nobody gets to define that for you.
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes just feel like, I'm not going to fit into with the other people in my life anymore. I'm not going to fit in with my family and friends, so I better just stay small.
Oh, there's so many, those are so many good tips here and the reasons why, right? That people stay stuck in their own money stories. Yeah. And so getting them out of that. And I know you use the soul tie box and some of the tools that we teach in the brain system. What are some tools that you use with your clients to get them out of those stuck places around money?
Um, so I use, since the subconscious is written and
Hmm.
programmed, while we're in a theta state, I help people get into a theta state. And I help them
Okay.
understand that we carry beliefs on 4 levels. So we carry beliefs that are from from birth to where we are now in our lives. So everything that we've taken in, that's happened to us, that's formed a belief system.
Mhm.
And some of those are empowering, some of them are disempowering. But we also carry ancestral beliefs
Yes.
going back 7 generations. And this aligns with both theta healing, the brain soul system, but
Mhm.
also science can prove it now, 3 generations. And I love that science is finally catching up to this.
Yes.
A great
Yes.
book to read on this is It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolham. But we carry these ancestral beliefs, and we carry beliefs in different parts of our body. So the core beliefs are carried in our pineal gland. The ancestral beliefs are carried in our DNA, in the morphogenic field, around our DNA. We
Hmm.
carry also group consciousness beliefs too, that we
Uh-huh.
absorb from society, what we accept as possible or impossible, but it also can relate to past lives. It can relate to imprints that we get from
Hmm.
other people because we pick up energy from others in the field,
Yes.
and from other people. But we also have karma in the history level,
Mhm.
because we've made oaths and vows and soul contracts with other people.
Yes. I
And
see
I
that
like to
too.
help clear those out. We
Hmm.
carry those in our auric field. And
Hmm.
then the last level of belief that we carry is in the soul level beliefs. And those are
Hmm.
all of the ones that are held most deeply. They're held in our heart. And it's part of, the beliefs that we came here to expand. But some of those are disempowering too. So what I
Hmm.
do is I dig, and I don't allow people to get into their story. So as a coach and a
Hmm.
counselor, I do. You get more into your story.
Hmm.
But people are addicted to their stories. They get a dopamine effect from telling old stories.
Hmm.
And the subconscious doesn't always like to let go of these old stories because they served you in some way. They got
Hmm.
you to survive to where you are now.
Hmm.
So I want to get to a root belief. So we'll start with something surface. Like somebody will come in and say, hey, Carmen, I have anxiety. I get that one a lot.
Okay.
And, you know, rather than getting to their story, I'll just say, well, tell me the first time you ever felt anxious. What was going on in your life back then? And I'll do the quick who, what, where, what did that person say to you? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll use an example of a young lady who came to me with anxiety. It went back to second grade, in which, she discovered that she was dyslexic, and she was pulled from her classroom into another special classroom. And
Mm-hmm.
some little bratty bully would sit outside the classroom and taunt her every day and tell her how stupid she was and how ugly she was.
Oh,
And she started to
yeah.
become very anxious.
Of course. Yeah.
And, things were going on in her life other than that too. And so when we got to the ripple leaf, anxiety was here, but the ripple leaf was she felt worthless. She felt stupid.
Mm-hmm.
She felt, she just felt like she didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, like, how did that serve you? Because even crappy stuff, helped you survive. So there's often a lesson and a gift. And how it served her, she got to have emotional companion animals in a place where they didn't allow pets. She got some
Okay.
special things out of
Uh-huh.
anxiety.
Uh-huh. To
It
help
got her
her.
some, it got her some things. It got her some special treatment in her family
Mm-hmm.
too. And so I had to ask her, are you really willing to let go of that? Because your
Sure.
subconscious is going to want to hold on to those things because those benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you release it, you have to change your story. So what I do then is we're both in a theta state. Um, I issue the command. The command goes to your subconscious level to release the old program,
Mm-hmm.
and the request goes to the creator, whatever you want to call it, the universe, the creator, God, Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
higher power.
Mm-hmm.
So I make that request to make that change. And I stay in that energy long enough to release it and then
Mm-hmm.
replace it with what that person wants the replacement to be.
Nice.
And it's kind of like the whole, like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I know that we can replace this in a way that you are fulfilled and happy in your life
Mm-hmm.
and functioning at your highest and best. And then if that person doesn't know what it feels like to, for instance, be safe and have money, I
Right.
download the feeling from the creator and the identity
Mm-hmm.
of what it feels like to be safe and have money, and to have the creator's perspective, understanding, and definition of what that is like, and the identity. Because if you don't have the self concept of wealth, it's hard to embrace it. So I help people download and up level their wealth activation.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, their wealth activation. And I'm familiar with theta healing, so I know what you're speaking about here. But just for our audience who might not be, um, the theta brainwave is where you're taking people into that brainwave. That's kind of the place of all creation. So we can recreate, like Carmen's suggesting here. You break down the old pattern and you put in the new one.
Exactly.
Right. So you're giving a command that you're putting in the new pattern. And I think that piece is really important. I see that missed a lot in health and healing. Like when we're doing a soul tie box, which is it's a box with, we're clearing the energies that can even be ancestral. So we're putting a bottom line goal in the center of a paper and we're finding out all the problems, situations, people, even ancestral, even the age 6 or 7 with the dyslexic girl, right? Or whatever it was, that whatever age that was, we're finding those core issues and clearing them. And then we rewire with codes. So we
Mm-hmm.
rewire with success codes, and the codes themselves, the integrations go 7 generations back and 7 forward. So that's the tools I use. Carmen's describing her theta healing and very beautifully. And so I want all of you to know what that is too and understand it because it's very powerful. So all of these tools are powerful. And yet what I found, and I think you found this too, is it's the combination that works.
It is the combination because
Mm-hmm.
I know in working with you, you also bring in, because I've been working with that too. And I've
Mm-hmm.
learned more about how to use that with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, I've always done muscle testing,
Uh-huh.
because that's how you know if somebody has a belief,
Mm-hmm.
because your higher self is always going to give you truth. And a lot of people don't know how to muscle test accurately. But through you, I'm learning quicker ways to do muscle testing because I've always had the pendulum always hanging right out by my desk here. Um,
Uh-huh.
use this way, test other ways, but you have a way of doing it really quickly and
Hmm.
easily. And then I'm starting to learn this new technique, which is amazing because, you know, you're able to get at truth a lot more quickly and easily for your clients, which I love.
Yes, I know, and thank you for that, and I'm so glad you're learning that because I love that too. I mean, like, it's just such a great tool to be able to dive in and really get things fast,
It
you know,
is.
and clear some energy fast and get those results. Um, so it sounds like you're getting amazing results with your clients right now, and that you're getting closer to your soul's truth and really sort of up leveling your life. I'm so excited for you and all your speaking coming up. We want to position that for you, Carmen, where you're like selling from the stage, big
I
time,
know.
big
I
time.
know. That's been kind
Yes.
of my little glitch
Mm-hmm.
because I find myself in master classes and workshops
Mm-hmm.
where I'm just constantly giving value because, you know, I love helping people. And then it's just like I get to the end and it's like, oh, I have 1 minute to make an offer. And so then it just doesn't really kind of happen.
Yeah, yeah. No, you
And
want to take
so,
advantage of that time. Yes.
exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's an area where I know I've needed some work a little bit. And it's kind of fine tuning, like, you know, feeling confident putting it out there, which
Yes.
we do. But also just kind of knowing when and how and just really feeling confident following up with people and just inviting them in, you
And
know.
here's a reframe that could help you with that. Maybe everybody here would benefit from this too. And I believe I learned this from from my some of my coaches. Um, what's the cost to them of not saying yes to themselves?
Right.
Right? Like, what if you didn't say yes to the brain system and Ziggy's was not sold? It would
Yeah.
still be stressful, right? So, we have to ask, and you wouldn't be up leveling where you are in your own business. So we have to ask, so you can ask them that. Like, you want to ask yourself that. So that will help you see the value of making sure, because in a way, if you're not making an offer to someone to work with you and they're stuck with their money blocks and you're the master money mindset mentor, they need you, right? So we want to be able to say to them, hey, if you don't invest in yourself, you're going to stay in that pool of mud. What's the cost of you not saying yes?
Right. Right.
Right. And maybe that can reframe it so that you can, get super strong on that offer, on that confidence. And all coaches go through this. This isn't
Well,
just Carmen and I. We've learned some things, but we're learning more too every day, you know?
well, I can
Yeah.
just tell you, you know, I've come from someone who changed careers when I was at age 22 because I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And I got into student teaching for morally deranged ninth graders. And I realized I was deathly afraid of public speaking. And that really tripped me up. And then my first job out of graduate school, you know, I'm like, okay, I'll be a counselor. I'd rather work with people one on one because I've always been a helper, always had a desire to help transform people's lives and raise consciousness.
Uh-huh.
But my first job out of graduate school was at the University of Minnesota, and they asked me to teach a class through their psychology department. And
Wow.
so the first time I did it, okay, I was okay. I'm one of those that expects to be perfect the first time I do everything, you know? Um, but
Yeah.
the second time I did it, I was more comfortable with the material and everything went more smoothly. The third time I did it, I was getting amazing teaching evaluations. And so
Nice.
even though, you know, I think there's sometimes we have some fear, it's just pushing through and realizing you can do it. You know,
Yes.
you can do it from somebody who is deathly afraid of public speaking to now getting 6 free trips to Europe. When I go to Venice, that'll be my sixth free trip to Europe as a speaker.
Oh, that's awesome.
You
Yay.
know,
Congratulations. I'm going with you.
love it.
We're talking about that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's
We're
awesome.
gonna meet in Italy.
I
Hmm.
know. That's kind of my dream. So yes, that's on my bucket list for sure. For sure. Hey, if you were going to start all over again, is there anything you would do differently?
Um, I would have. I started my private practice in 2003,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have gone fully into my private practice a lot sooner. And all the healing stuff that I've learned, I'm part of another mastermind that I've been part of for 16 years
Mhm.
of people that have known me as, the career development, career life purpose person extraordinaire.
Mm.
But they gave me a lot of advice about not putting my healing work out there because they said I would scare people away by being too woo-woo. I wish I
Oh
never would have listened to
no.
them.
Uh,
I kept all those gifts hidden for a long time because I listened to the advice of people who really had my best interest in mind, but they just said, well, that's just going to turn people off, Carmen. But
mhm,
when I started integrating all those tools,
mhm.
that's when I started getting letters and emails and testimonials from people who just got great success and transformation. And I wish I would have just listened to my heart because my law of attraction coaching certification was in 2003. That was
Okay.
3 years before The Secret came out. I would have been way before cutting edge on that.
Yes, you would have. Yes, thank you for sharing that because we all have those things on our path, right? Where we look back and we say, hey, I wish that I would have done this. And yet, what we can do here on the podcast then is share those stories so that you guys will give everybody listening here will maybe take a look at what's going on in their own lives and take those action steps sooner,
Great.
right? And follow their heart. Like you said, follow your heart and really believe in yourself.
And just know that the universe has your back,
Yeah.
divine guidance, because, you know, you mentioned in the introduction that I had a coaching program at a graduate school in Minneapolis that I
Mhm.
created, I oversaw, I was a faculty member in it. And at the end of 2015, the program was cut.
Ooh.
And then I also had a big, very lucrative coaching contract with PricewaterhouseCooper in
Mhm.
Facebook, where I was coaching their top leaders. That went away. And I was dating somebody right then. And that guy just out of the blue decided to up and leave, just end the relationship. I didn't see that one coming. So here I was at the end of 2015 with this really dark night of the soul.
Uh-huh.
Well, unbeknownst to me, the universe was clearing stuff out to bring better things in. I met my husband 7 months later, who was so much better than the person I was with. We're really aligned. I mean, you have soulmates, but you also have different levels of soulmates.
Mhm.
There's your compatible soulmate, but there's your divine life partner. And that is somebody who supports you on your mission here, who you're really aligned with. And that's what I attracted.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for
And
you.
then,
Yeah.
just all the new things that came in the work that I do now that I find so much more exciting and rewarding. And guess what? I don't have to deal with office politics anymore besides my own. You know,
Exactly. I know that's the nice thing about being an entrepreneur, right? So,
exactly.
so many benefits there for sure. So many benefits. Wow. Well, again, I love you so much and I love what you're doing in the world. You're doing such great work and just an honor to work with you and share these tools so you can add them to your tool bag too. And it's just been a gift, Carmen. And you and I could talk, we could talk forever. We'll have to do a part two, it sounds like, uh, on, on another related topic. But if you were going to leave our audience here with one brain soul tip, what would it be?
Oh, brain soul tip. I always say, remember that you're such a powerful creator. So my question is always, are you creating by default or design? Because either way, you're always
Hmm.
creating. And we have our filters on reality. But I think that once you get really clear about your intentions, you can really be a lot more intentional about living your truth and owning your worth at the highest levels. And you are worthy of the best that life has to offer, the best that the universe has to offer. And I believe it's part of our spiritual mission to be wealthy because we're
Mhm.
able to impact the world in ways that we can't. If we don't have money to fund our important divine purpose here, our mission here. So um, I just encourage all of you to go for it and realize you're a powerful creator. So start creating more deliberately and focus on what you do want and affirm that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Absolutely. I ditto that. Yes, absolutely. Oh gosh, thank you so much for being with us today. Tell us how we can get a hold of you. And I know you have that program coming up. And so share a little bit about that. We'll put all the links here in the show notes for everybody. But Carmen, what's your website? How can people get a hold of you?
So my website is intentionalityconsulting.com. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Got a little bit of a YouTube channel starting here, so starting to get more of videos out there. Um, you know, you can reach out to me by email. You can reach out to me by text.
Okay.
Just encourage you to reach out, and I will provide the link to Dr. Louise for how you can get signed up for the 2-day event that I'm offering next week, the Embody Your Worth program.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. Well, we'll put all those links in the show notes. So you definitely want to check out what Carmen's doing here for sure. She's the master money mindset business mentor. And I just love, love, love working with you. We're like sisters, so aligned. And so thank you so much for being with us today. And remember, everyone, follow your heart, but take your brain with you.
Exactly. Thank you.